Hello, welcome to this weather update. It's March 8th, 2018, and I wanted to update you on the snowfall totals. I actually, there's so much going on last night. When I made the update, I left out New Jersey. It was supposed to be in there, but somehow everything got screwed up because I had to make, while I was doing the update, they updated the snowfall totals again for New York, and I had to go and put that back in there. And somehow when I put that back in there, I left the old update for New York and took out the New Jersey one instead, which was wrong. So I do apologize for that. So much going on, I mean, with the storm and the railroad and everything. Anyway, no, didn't get to the Pine Barrens today. I'm sure it looked very nice with the snow on the trees. Unfortunately, the sky was cloudy again. So this is not a picture from today. It was a picture actually from February 12th, 2010 at the Rocky Point Preserve. So we are going to now look at the snowfall totals. All right, and because I left out New Jersey, we'll start with New Jersey, and because that's where the highest amounts were. All right, so and this is a map of New Jersey here, a map of the snowfall. They've given a map this time, so let's take a look at this map here. First, we'll look at the legend of the map here. All right, so you can see where the higher amount colors are. All right, and then we'll go ahead and we'll look at. Oops. We'll go ahead and we'll look at New Jersey. So you can see here, not much in Ocean County. You have to go north and west. Interesting though, some parts that were south of Ocean County, some interior parts like Burlington County, got close to 5 inches, which is very interesting. But by far, the heaviest snow totals were up in the northern part of Jersey. And you're going from, I could say that the Turnpike is a good dividing line. Anywhere well, it's not really quite, but if you draw a line like this, pretty much, anywhere north and west of this line is where you're now going over a foot of snow. And remember, this is heavy, wet snow, so there's tons and tons of power outages. It's going to take days and days and days to restore the power because there's so many tree branches that came down on power lines. It's just an unbelievable amount of tree branches that came down. And then if we take a look here at the worst part, remember, this is Mount Holly, so it leaves out the Upton part. But you can see here Morristown. Once you get toward around Morristown, this is where you see totals over 2 feet of snow. That's right, over 2 feet, 26.8 inches of snow. This is heavy, wet snow. This is not the dry, powdery stuff. So you can imagine the kind of damage this is going to cause. Definitely a disaster. This was a disaster. Plain and simple, this was a disaster for New Jersey and the Hudson Valley. My prayers and sympathies, and hopefully people get their power back. It's not fun not having power, especially when it's cold out. There's no heat, and the snow is just, this heavy, wet snow is not the kind of snow I like. All right, it's horrible because it causes so much damage, and this is part, because it's not that cold. If it was colder, it would have been a drier, more powdery snow. But because the temperatures were borderline, this is what makes these snowstorms so destructive. Because again, it's not cold enough. This is what I mean. That's why I like it colder. Because when it's colder, at least it's powdery and it doesn't cause this kind of damage. So there are the totals there. We're going to go and look at the totals for our area now. Let's go to the Upton office, which didn't have a graphic map, but still some very impressive totals here. If you look here, you can see here that, and let me see if we can just make this a little bigger so you can see this. All right, I'm going to make it a little bigger just for the sake of this video so you can see here. 26.8 inches of snow. So again, a huge amount of snow here in interior parts of Connecticut, where I'm sure there's lots and lots of power outages. Also New Haven. We'll get to Long Island, but the snowfall totals are not that impressive here. Again, interior parts of New Haven, definitely approaching 18 to 20 inches. In some spots, 18.5 there. But coastal Connecticut didn't get that much. Like Long Island, they didn't get that much. New Jersey, here we go with Bergen County again. Oakland, 26 inches. Mahwah, 18.4. Allendale, 17.5. Paramus, though, you can see once you got into Paramus, the snowfall totals weren't that bad already, 7.5. So it's very hit or miss. And then when you go south of there, the amounts increase again. North Caldwell, 23 inches. Roseland, 19.7. Not familiar with these areas too well in parts of New Jersey. So, yeah, parts of the interior parts of New Jersey really got hit very hard. And Passaic County also got hit very hard. 22 inches in Ewart. Ringwood, 19.7. Union County, 9 inches. That's not too bad, actually. And then we go to the city, which hardly got anything. The city actually wound up getting less than we did because the temperatures were so borderline that the urban heat island effect actually kept the snow from accumulating very much in the city. Even though it came down, there was an urban heat island, so it could not accumulate. And we go to Nassau County, Plainview, 6.5 inches. All right, so that's the most in Nassau County is Plainview. Pretty much North Shore of Nassau County here. The South Shore, well, Wantaw got 5 inches. And some parts of the South Shore got as little as 2 inches. It depends on where those bands came because the temperatures were borderline. Central Park only got 3.2 inches out of it. And then upstate, we got Orange County. Again, 26 inches. That's a tremendous amount of this heavy wet snow that's causing a lot of damage and a lot of power outages. And we're going to get to the power outages in this video as well. Because this is a natural disaster, and we have to talk about it. Putnam County, Mahopac, 19.5 inches. So again, upstate, a lot of damage. But again, Queens, hardly anything, just a couple inches, 3.5 in Middle Village. Very little in Queens. Even Staten Island got a higher number because, again, Staten Island is less developed. There's only one report out of Staten Island that's 4 inches. And then Rockland County, upstate, 26 inches in Sloatsburg. Spring Valley, 15 inches. New City, 9 inches. So you can see the elevation has something to do with it, and in the interior areas had something to do with it as well. And then we go to Suffolk, which was hit harder than I thought it was going to be hit. And what was weird was the snowfall seemed to, it seemed like almost the further east you went in Suffolk, in the central part of Suffolk, like north of Sunrise Highway, in the central part of Suffolk, it accumulated a lot more. 8.9 at Oakdale, so that's the highest reading in Suffolk County. Setauket, 8 inches, and then we work our way down the list to the more official site, like Islip. That's still a lot. That's, let's say, on the South Shore, 6.5. All right, so I was surprised. They probably picked up a little more snow on the back end, probably. Maybe that was it. Comac, 5.6. Some of these are in the same area. Upton, 5.5. So once you get to the Pine Barrens, the amounts aren't that high. Wading River, 5.3. So that's like a moderate snowfall. It's not too much. And then the East End hardly got anything. Orient, 0.2 inches. And they don't even have a reading for Montauk. Montauk may not have even gotten anything. And then we go ahead and we look at Westchester. Well, at least Westchester escaped the 2-foot total. They had a foot. Highest amount there, Armonk, at 13.5 inches of snow. So yeah, but still, it's a heavy, wet snow, and it's causing a lot of damage upstate. It's causing a lot of damage in interior New Jersey, and now we're going to look at the power outage situation. Okay, so we're going to first start with Long Island. Right now, they've gotten the outage numbers down a lot. I mean, it was like 20,000 this morning. So PSEG is working very hard. Now we're not looking at the map. We're going to look at instead the municipalities, because this pretty much shows you where the hardest hit areas are. And you can see the town of Hempstead, not too many outages. It's North Hempstead and Oyster Bay, because those areas are on the North Shore, and those areas have the most outages. And then we go ahead and look at Suffolk County, and it's going to be the same story in Suffolk. Brookhaven was hard hit on the North Shore, again, because that's where the heavy wet snow fell. Huntington and also Smithtown as well also hit hard. But they've been making tremendous headway throughout the day restoring these outages. But again, we really weren't hit that hard. It's interior New Jersey. So we're going to go now look at JCP&L. And this is where there are some pretty major outages still ongoing, and it's going to take a much longer time to restore all of these outages. On this map here, it says here we have 94,000, right here at the bottom, 94,366 outages. And if we look at the hardest hit areas here, where the numbers are the worst, it's actually, Burlington is actually pretty high as well. I'm surprised, but like I said, interior Burlington got a lot. And I'll just mouse over. I'll tell you what area it is. So Essex also hard hit, 31% of people without power there. Hunterdon, I'm surprised, only 12%. Interesting. That's interior Jersey. Mercer County, not too badly hit. This is Mercer. This is Middlesex here. Middlesex County to 2.30. Very little out. Monmouth, very little out. Morris County hit hard again. You nearly have 20% out there. Ocean County, hardly anyone. They weren't hit too hard. Barely anything in Ocean County, an inch or two. Passaic, 15.82% out. Somerset has 20, almost a quarter of their customers out. Somerset was hit hard. Sussex County, I'm surprised, not that bad, but look at Union County. Almost half the people in Union County are without power still as the storm is going on, as the storm caused all this damage. And like I said, it's a disaster. And Phil Murphy is speaking up. He's not happy with the restoration efforts. He thinks they need to be faster. But I'm glad Phil Murphy is getting involved and trying to help people in New Jersey. Unfortunately, Cuomo, since this disaster, has been nowhere to be found. He has been nowhere to be found. It just shows you what a piece of garbage Cuomo is. But that's not what this video is going to be about. I'm going to talk about that in another video we'll be making tonight. Now we go ahead and look at PSEG. And you can see that there, I'm going to make this a little larger for you. All right, hopefully you can see that. Let's see what hardest hit areas are at PSEG territory. It looks like Hunterdon. All right, so they probably have more customers in Hunterdon. They have 40% of customers out in Hunterdon. And look at Morris. Now, they have some PSEG customers in Morris County. Not too many there, but of the customers they have, 92% are out. So, again, this is a very hard-hit area, and I'm glad Phil Murphy is getting involved and trying to make the utility, because at least here in Long Island, PSEG Long Island has moved faster. It looks like PSEG New Jersey is actually making some good progress. It's JCP&L that seems to be the issue. JCP&L always seems to have issues after they are known. I like to call them everybody's favorite electric company, but they're not really everybody's favorite electric company. They have a lot of issues when it comes to slow response after disasters. Now we'll go to Con Edison, all right? And I wanted to tell you the total amount of people out with PSEG before I do that. It's 5,000. Move this over. I was trying to move this over here. 50,000 outages in PSEG territory. So 50,000. I probably still have 150,000 out in the state of New Jersey right now. All right, so now let's go to upstate New York and Con Edison. And Con Edison has around 20,000 people out of power right now, 20,830. And this map is showing the most severely hit areas. And you can see parts of Westchester have been hit very hard, and also parts up here. And this, I'm sure, is affecting Metro North. So we're going to be talking about the public transportation next, the impact on public transportation from this natural disaster. All right, I'm going to start with this, and it looks like Metro North has some major impacts, but so far the Long Island Railroad has been running pretty well today. So we're going to first look at the Hudson line. It says service change. It says Metro North will operate a reduced schedule. The New Canaan and Danbury branches remain suspended until further notice. Customers should expect extremely crowded conditions and delays due to residual effects of the storm. So that is the service change for Metro North. I do not know if they are providing substitute buses. That is actually in Connecticut, so that would be up to Connecticut to provide substitute buses. And let's see here. Passaic, oh yeah, I'm sure that's suspended. Well, let's see. Passaic branch continues to experience delays of up to 50 minutes due to late connecting trains, weather-related track conditions requiring attention, and single tracking between Golden's Bridge and Brewster due to a disabled train in the vicinity of Chappaqua. So yeah, that's what's going on the Passaic line. Let's see what's going on the, all right. Did we click Harlem? I don't know if I clicked it. Yeah, we did that already. Harlem, yeah, okay. The Harlem southbound delays of up to 30 minutes and northbound up to 40 minutes. Again, there's a problem around between Golden. I'm surprised that the service was restored on there. That's pretty quick, but Metro North is run much better than the Long Island Railroad. Let's see, New Haven delays. All right, that's just for New Haven. So it looks like the New Haven line is running, and like I said, I'm not too familiar with these areas. Let's see. And Pascack, all right, these probably are. Pascack Valley will operate limited rush hour service only. And NJ Transit service rail. All right, so it's NJ Transit rail service for today, March 8th, Northeast Corridor, North Jersey coastline, are operating under regular weekday service. Pascack Valley line will operate limited rush hour service. However, Raritan Valley, Atlantic City, Maine, Bergen County, Port Jervis, Morristown, Gladstone Branch, and Montclair Boonton lines were heavily impacted by the storm. Customers are strongly allowed to build an extra travel time and check the status of the storm prior to the trip by visiting NewJerseyTransit.com. So these were very hard-hit areas. The transportation was impacted a great deal in these areas. But let's go ahead now and look at the Twitter feeds from the Long Island Railroad and Metro North and see what's going on there. All right, we will start with the Long Island Railroad, but there's not really much going on. It looks like there was one cancellation on the Babylon branch this morning, and then another cancellation on the Babylon branch. It was canceled at Jamaica. So, but that's just about it for the Babylon branch. But let's go ahead. I mean, that's it for the railroad. And the Babylon branch, so far, a few scattered equipment problems, but nothing really major going on there. It's really the other parts of the area that have been hit hard. All right, here we go. Here's the Metro North feed. So Harlem line is having problems. Just move this over a little if it would cooperate. Harlem line is having problems. Southbound remains delayed up to 30 minutes because of that disabled train and weather-related track conditions. Wassaic branch now delayed 50 minutes. And you can see crews working around the clock. So Metro North is really trying to, provide service, and this is what they had to face. So imagine this, all right? This is what they had to face. Like I said, this is a disaster. So this is a disaster, a natural disaster. That's all I could say. A natural disaster. See, Metro North provides people information. They show people what they're doing. The Long Island Railroad doesn't provide any of that. Metro North's always been a better run railroad. Even though they're both under the MTA, they've always been a better railroad. So looking at some of these, 502 from Larchmont. So Metro North to operate, so they have a special reduced schedule for Metro North today that was running. So they have a special reduced schedule. So I don't know where you can get that schedule, but they did have a reduced schedule, probably like a weekend or Saturday schedule running because of all the damage that was done. Now we'll take a look at New Jersey Transit. All right, so regular weekday service for tomorrow. They canceled some North Jersey coastline trains. Atlantic City rail service has resumed. And then again, even New Jersey Transit is telling you that what they're doing here with the work. The Long Island Railroad never takes pictures and to show you what they're doing to fix the tracks. They never do that. They never keep you posted, and that's because of Patrick Nowakowski. That's why he needs to resign. New Jersey, I have to say, I'm very impressed with Phil Murphy. I think he's doing a very good job. Compared to Cuomo, who's been absent throughout this whole disaster, it really, and one funny thing about it is I have yet to see Andrew Cuomo and Phil Murphy talking together. It's interesting, Andrew Cuomo always got along with Chris Christie, who was a bit of an ass himself. But it goes to show you that Cuomo's an ass, all right? And I think Phil Murphy doesn't like Cuomo either. So Phil Murphy is doing a great job trying to fix New Jersey and get New Jersey through this disaster. Our governor, Cuomo, is a delinquent in this. So, yeah, really, Long Island Railroad is... excuse me. I'm sorry. So much going through my head. New Jersey Transit is doing a great job keeping people posted about what's going on here. and even the individual bus lines. And this is some of the the damage they've had to do. Long Island Railroad isn't showing any pictures of the damage along the tracks from yesterday's storm. I know we didn't have as much, but there was still some. They didn't show any of the poles or the wires down that were in Freeport and Maryland Avenue. They didn't show any of that. So, Pascack Valley, Northeast Corridor. So, yeah, they had to, I don't know if they're providing substitute buses or not. Well, the buses are probably cross-honoring, probably. The buses will resume service, but they're still, the road conditions were worse. So, Stan, they were hit a lot harder. And they're providing a lot. Look at this, look at this. Look at these pictures they're showing. Look at that. Look at the tree around, down on the tracks. So New Jersey Transit doing a great job keeping people posted. No doubt due to the changes in management because Phil Murphy got rid of the old management there. So New Jersey Transit doing a great job trying to keep people informed. I know people are going to be unhappy, but it was a natural disaster that hit in much of New Jersey, and I'm glad to see that their governor at least is involved. Our governor, unfortunately, is nowhere to be found. But we're going to talk about Cuomo in another video because the impact of something he did it has a big impact on the Pine Barrens. So that'll be in another video. Anyway, final thoughts on on this disaster, and then we'll. Okay, so this wraps up this update here. I was hoping to see pictures like this today, but unfortunately, we just never got a blue sky because the clouds were around, and that's a whole other thing. The clouds, hopefully, they'll clear out eventually. You know, I'm sick of all these damn clouds. I want my blue sky. I'm sick of this cloudy weather, man. I want blue sky again, but in order to get blue sky, we got to have dry air, and the air masses that we're getting are just not cold or dry enough, because even though we have a trough in the east, all the cold Arctic air is on the other side of the globe. Can never win, right? Maybe next winter we'll get more of that Arctic air, but time is running out for this winter. Anyway, folks, that is it for this update. For those in New Jersey and those in the areas that are hit hard by this storm, again, I hope your power is restored soon. This is a natural disaster. And this is things like this are going to become more common due to climate change. This storm, a very unusual storm, due to climate change. This is, if it was colder, this we would not have had this heavy, wet snow. We would have had drier, more powdery snow that would not have caused all the damage that it did. But because of climate change and what we're doing to the planet, well, that's what's going on. People need to wake up and see, what we're doing here. Save ourselves, Anyway, folks, take care. Thank you for watching. And stay warm. If you don't have power, please stay warm. But whatever you do, don't put on your stove. That's not what you want to do, trust me. Take care.